Hello world, Shelly here, and today I've got a little get ready with me with some new products, and you guys have been asking for updates on my diet, so I thought we would do it as a little get ready with me format. I've got the new Milani Most Loved Mattes palette here. I'm going to be trying out the Dr. Brandt Luminizer Primer from the Pores No More for the first time. I have some products here that I have not used on my channel. I just picked up the new lightest shade of the Age Rewind in shade Ivory. I'm going to compare that against the former lightest shade, don't look at my nasty bottle, in Fair. I've worn this a few times on my channel, but haven't, I think, put it on my channel. The Physicians Formula Butter Highlights. I've just got some new stuff we're going to put my face on, and we're going to talk about my diet. So I had been on the ketogenic diet for about 4 months, and I recently stopped doing the ketogenic diet, and we're just gonna get into all of it. But first I need to prime. So, Dr. Brandt, I'm gonna be using the With Simplicity foundation today, and I theorized when I reviewed that foundation that if I used a pore minimizing primer with it, that I would probably be happy with the results, because the foundation itself was not explicitly pore minimizing, but I just had a feeling I would have good results. So we're gonna try it and see if I was right or if I was wrong. And it makes no difference at all. Ooh, this primer feels really nice. It doesn't have quite as much slip as the typical like silicone primer, but you know, it's got that like nice grab that I feel like makes foundation stick really well. Why is there this hair on my forehead? It has a slight fragrance to it, kind of, I want to say citrus, but that's not right. Fresh, light, not very strong. So I originally started the ketogenic diet because I was inspired by Raw Beauty Christy, who last summer had done a video on how she lost 40 pounds on the ketogenic diet, and she still follows that diet to this day, and she is looking great. So I started the diet based on that as my inspiration, and if you're unfamiliar with keto, for short, it's a low-carb diet, and the idea behind it is that you restrict the carbohydrates you're eating, and that makes your body go into the process of ketosis for metabolism instead of burning glucose or sugar as your primary source of fuel. And the process of ketosis is where your body uses fat for fuel instead of using glucose or sugar. So essentially it's a high fat, moderate protein, very low carb diet. Now, if you've ever heard of or done anything like Atkins before, the initial induction phase of Atkins is essentially ketogenic. So the idea of a ketogenic diet really just means that you are putting your body into the state of ketosis where it is burning fat instead of sugar for its primary fuel source. Now, this is not to be confused with diabetic ketoacidosis. That is a totally different thing. That is the state where your body has a lot of ketones, which is what your body makes when it's breaking down fat, but it also has very high insulin, and that can be very dangerous. This is not that. Your insulin and blood sugar levels will be low on a ketogenic diet because you're not spiking your blood sugar all the time with carbohydrates. So not to be confused with that. So that is what keto is. And when we say low carb, it is pretty much very low carb. I was eating 25 grams net carbs or fewer per day. And that net carbs basically means you're taking your total carbohydrates that you eat and subtracting out the fiber, because fiber is not digestible, so it kind of doesn't count against you. So high fiber. What is this speck on my face? So that is the With Simplicity liquid foundation in shade 2. I will link my review of that down below if you missed it. So basically that is what the ketogenic diet is. Now my complicating factor is that I'm also vegetarian and that is non-negotiable. So in order for me to get enough protein without eating carbohydrates, because basically whole grains are ruled out, you know, tofu is minimized, I had to eat a lot of dairy. And while I love eating a lot of dairy, that eventually became my downfall, since I could not add, you know, things like chicken or pork or any kind of meat-based protein to my diet. So in order to get the amounts of fat and protein that I needed as a vegetarian, I really had to eat a lot of dairy. Let's check out this new Age Rewind. So this is the new lightest shade, Ivory. Nice. Let's swatch it against the previous lightest shade, which was Fair. Fair is clearly more pink undertoned. Ivory is a more neutral undertone. I think Ivory is only a little bit lighter than Fair. Definitely a different undertone. Let's try it. I probably will be the kind of person that likes a combination of the two, because I really do like a pink undertone. Ooh, now that they're drying down, it is a bit lighter. So I had really good results on the keto diet. I did it from, what are my dates? October 3rd to January 17th. I did not cheat a single time. Now, the pros of the diet, I would say, are that if you like cheese and you like meat and you like butter and you like fat, creamy, you know, if that's your vice, it is really easy to do the ketogenic diet. If you live on breads and pastas and grains, it's going to be very hard to do the ketogenic diet. So I had a really easy time with it because I don't have a sweet tooth. I have like a salt and fat tooth. So I enjoyed, I was having mini cheesecakes every night for dinner with my dinner, which seems so decadent and wonderful. And so I really enjoyed it. On the downside, it's tough because eating out is almost impossible as a keto vegetarian. If you eat meat, eating out is not nearly as difficult. But being a keto vegetarian, there's almost nothing I could eat. It always was pretty much, do you have like a full-fat Caesar salad that doesn't have a low-fat dressing, you know, that dressing doesn't have sugar in it. Like, that was it. So on that regard, it was complicated to be a keto vegetarian, but delicious for sure. I'm going to set my face with the With Simplicity Mineral Setting Powder. This is my favorite setting powder brush. It is the Kat Von D. It is the Locket number 20 setting powder brush, and I love it because, so it's vegan, cruelty-free, it's super soft, but you see how, it's going to be hard to demonstrate. Do you see how it splays out? Like, whoo! That is what I love because it makes it really easy to set your whole face quickly, especially in like a dotting motion. You don't have to like buff, so you're not moving around the product underneath, and it splays out really big. So in my 5 weeks doing keto, I lost 28 pounds, which was 10.7% of my body weight. I had a period in that 15 weeks where I did not lose any weight over 3 weeks, but lost multiple inches in my waist while the scale was not moving. My waist was shrinking. I lost a total of 4.5 inches off my waist. Lost a couple pant sizes. It was a good experience. Ooh, Milani Most Loved Mattes. Found this at Walmart. Has a nice big mirror on the other side. Prime with my MAC paint pot in Painterly. So overall, I found it very easy to do the ketogenic diet as long as I planned ahead. I did have to basically make all of my own food. If you are getting into keto, look up the Fathead pizza dough. I used it for so many things. It's like my new favorite pizza dough, keto or not. It's delicious. It is cheese-based, so if that's a thing for you, but it's so, so good. I'm going to set my primer with this sort of fleshy tone. We're just going to do a super basic eye today. I gots to go. Now, the problem came when I went to the doctor for my annual checkup, and she was thrilled at my weight loss, and she was thrilled at my blood pressure, and she was thrilled overall. Her nurse had actually just started the keto diet as well, so she is definitely not opposed to keto. I'm going to use this guy right here. But when my blood work came back, my cholesterol was through the roof. It had gone up 35% over the previous 5 years. And that's bad. So my doctor basically said, either start eating meat so that you have a non-dairy source of protein and fat, or don't do keto anymore. Now, she, to her credit, gave me 3 months to fix my diet and go back for follow-up blood work. But I knew after a week or so of experimenting and trying to get, you know, more protein from others, it's just not possible as a vegetarian. And the vegetarian part is something that I was not willing to negotiate. So that meant it's back to eating carbs. And so I stopped doing keto, and I'm still upset, and I'm still not sure that it's the right move for me, because my body loses weight so easily on keto. It's the one diet that doesn't feel like a diet. Here's what I love the most about keto. First off, when you're in a ketogenic state, your brain and your heart actually prefer to use ketones or fat as a fuel source. It's more efficient. And the mental clarity I get from the keto diet is unparalleled. I don't experience it any other way in my life. I have an even keel energy all day long. There's no slumps, there's no peaks and valleys. It's just this perfect even keel where I can concentrate, I can put an all-out effort. I never feel like I'm lagging or dragging. I sleep so much better on the keto diet. It works really, really well for my body, except apparently eating all of that dairy does not do well with my cholesterol. The other thing I really like about keto is that you never feel hungry. Fat and protein are very satiating, especially fat. And so if you're eating a high-fat diet, you're just not going to feel hungry. So I was combining keto with intermittent fasting, which intermittent fasting is where you basically eat all of your meals within a specific window of time, 8 hours or so. So I would eat all of my meals between 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. And so then I would be fasting from 9 p.m. until the following day, 1 p.m. And that's really easy on keto because you don't feel hungry, because you've got enough fat in your diet to be satiating and to feel full all the time. And so it just worked really well for me. I'm still doing intermittent fasting. Right now, my diet, I'm just calorie counting, that's it. And not worrying about my macros. And that, I'm still doing intermittent fasting, which means every morning I'm starving because I'm not eating high fat. So I'm still quite disappointed that I'm not doing keto. As soon as I stopped keto, which was now about 3 weeks ago, I gained 2 pounds, and I've been stuck there ever since. Now, I'm still continuing to eat within my calorie range because I know, especially from doing keto, that I can go weeks without losing weight on the scale, but I'm actually still losing inches and losing fat. So I'm sticking to it, but it's a lot harder to do because, I don't know, keto just works really well for me. I'm going to go with this shade in the crease. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing with my eye look right now. Let's concentrate. Focus, focus. These shadows seem very nice, very blendable. Just the right amount of pigment where it's not overly pigmented, but it's not, you know, invisible. Looking at this sort of purpley shade. I do have a Stila. I think this is one of the glitter and glows in peachy sheen that I plan to use on the lid. These are great for like executing a quick look that looks like you did a little bit more work than you actually did. Ooh, that's very pigmented. So overall, this video is not intended to be advice or medical advice or anything. You always want to work with your doctor when deciding what to do with your diet and all of that good stuff. Would I recommend the keto diet? Absolutely, especially if you are someone that prefers, you know, creamy, buttery, salty stuff as opposed to sweet stuff, because you do have to basically give up all added sugar. And in my diet now, I have maintained that. I am still not eating added sugar because the sugar seems to have the biggest impact on my sleep patterns and my overall energy. Sugar is just, there's too much of it in the world, you guys. We're eating way too much of it in this country. It's evil. But I definitely recommend keto if that's what you're into. It's tough to pull off as a vegetarian if you are sensitive to dairy. Clearly I am, at least my cholesterol is, and that is a bummer. But in general, I absolutely loved the diet. I had what I would call phenomenal success in a very easy way. I'm still upset that I'm not doing it. I still might go back to doing it because my argument may be, you know, what's more important, getting this weight off of me or having low cholesterol? I can get the weight off of me and then maintain with eating less dairy if necessary. So that might end up being a thing too. If I can't get myself back on a losing track by counting calories, then it's harder for me to lose weight at this age. Every year it gets harder and harder and harder. I have lost 100 pounds twice in my life. I've lost 50 plus pounds 5 times in my life. I yo-yo. It's years in between, but this is my life. And the older I get, the more risky it is to have this weight on me and the harder it is to lose it. So, you know, I might go back to doing keto because it works for me. It works really well. And I'm just going to have to talk to my doctor about it. This is just going to be a process and I'm going to keep my doctor involved. She's very willing to be flexible and to be reasonable with me. So I'm glad for that. But that's kind of where I am right now with my diet. I haven't done much in terms of reintroducing exercise in my life. I'm going to go with this dark shade right here. I just recently made a plan with a few friends. We're going to have a personal trainer do a small group strength training with us for a 6-week time. That'll be starting soon. So I think that is going to help as well because fitness is always good. I used to be a runner. I used to run half marathons and I did that for about 4 years. And when I moved to Virginia from the Chicagoland area, I stopped running because Chicago's flat. Virginia, it's not just hills, man, it's mountains. And I'm not super fit anyway, even when I'm running half marathons. It's a struggle for me. I'm a slow runner. My average mile is like an 11-minute mile, even at my most super fittest. So mountains are friggin' tough. Hills friggin' kill me. So I got out of running. I might get back into running. I kind of miss it. But I don't know how successful I will be here because I've gone back to it a few times since I moved here. And it's just really hard for me here in Virginia. I'm getting a little bit of fallout from these shadows. But we are going to start with a trainer and get a strength training plan going. It's through the university, so it's really nice that they have these plans available and they can customize things for us. And oh my goodness, this is so pretty. I love these. I will eventually have every single color. I'm working on it, guys. They're so pretty. This one is more of a sheen, sort of less opaque than some of the others, but the color of the glitter is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. This was that tiny one that was in one of those Christmas holiday packages. Little kits you could buy. Holy cow, I love this. I use this guy for a brow bone highlight. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If you follow me on Snap, I was pretty excited last night because I finally fit back into Junior's jeans. You know I have trouble with the rise on my jeans. It's always too high, and I just prefer, and Junior's jeans don't have the high rise, and they're perfect. So I was pretty excited about that. This is the Maybelline Total Temptation Eyebrow Definer in dark brown. I absolutely love it because it is a cool toned brown, which most of the dark browns are warm toned, and that is not what I want. I want cool toned brown. I love this pencil. The spoolie's a little weird, like it's this tiny little thing, but you know, it works. In other news, so I bought an Instant Pot. I thought there was really no reason for me to have an Instant Pot because I don't eat meat, but I kept seeing recipes. A friend of mine just got one, and she was making soups and stews and mac and cheese and all this stuff in her Instant Pot, which now that I can eat carbs again, are in my wheelhouse. So I bought an Instant Pot, and let me tell you, I just keep making mac and cheese. I can't handle it. It's so good. I've been doing a sharp cheddar and Gouda. Man, I'm not good at doing my brows on camera because holy cow, I have got some brows going today. Yeah, I had some apple smoked Gouda, and it's really good. I haven't made anything else yet, just mac and cheese. Do you guys have an Instant Pot? What do you make in your Instant Pot? Do you have any vegetarian recommendations for me? Have you tried making desserts? I've seen like people doing yogurt and things in their Instant Pots. Has anyone tried that? What do you think? Yeah, my brows are like screaming today. ABH Clear Brow Gel. This is some brows, you guys. We got some brows happening today. I can't find my bronzer brush. Glam Bronze, just gonna use this old thing. So my insurance went way down with the new car. I don't know why. It went down like 30 bucks a month. And then my SiriusXM radio subscription I was able to cancel because the new Jeep came with a free year of SiriusXM. So I canceled that, so there goes 25 bucks a month. And then I'm going to get $200 a month back in my taxes. So it's like, my new Jeep is almost free. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Wow, this brush sucks for bronzer. Ah! Look at this mess. I was mentioning on Snapchat the other day that I've had this like sudden urge to self-tan. I don't know why, because I don't naturally like tan at all, really. I just turn pink, and then I've got like just a slightly darker version of my skin with pink. I burn, that's it. Like, I don't tan, so why am I like suddenly obsessed with self-tanning? I don't know, but I've been putting it off, and I haven't bought any self-tanner, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to hold off. Like, it's going to happen. And I don't know what I'm going to do then, because you see all these foundations, they're like pale. I'm going to use that NARS blush that I used the other day because it's sitting right here, and I'm just going to use it. So do you have favorite self-tanners? Let me know, especially if you are fair-skinned, because I've been looking at, you know what inspired this? I was watching Mallory Vlogs, and is that her name? Why do I feel like that's not her name all of a sudden? The girl that's friends with the Taylor, and she had the fake bake self-tanner in her last vlog, and then I started looking that up because she's pale too, and then I was like, oh snap, I need that. Why do I feel like I need that? Also looking at one of the Saint Tropez mousses. I don't know. I love these butter highlighters. They still smell like vacation. They're friggin' beautiful. I've got all the colors now. This one is Pearl. I like Pearl because it doesn't have a color shift. It melds into the skin quite nicely. It does not emphasize texture. And at the end of the day, you are still going to have that glowing cheekbone. Did a little test in one of my recent foundation reviews. Total dupes. This is my old Urban Decay 24/7 waterline. This is the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Last Waterproof Pencil. They stay in my waterline perfectly well, and I have watery eyes and difficulty with pencils. This has in the past been the only one that has worked for me. Totally digging the new L'Oreal. Oh, I need to sharpen this guy. For mascara, I've been totally digging this one. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. It is the new Physicians Formula Killer Curves mascara. It's not super dramatic like my Urban Decay Perversion, for example, but it's also not super natural. It's that in-between where you need some volume and depth to your lashes, but you don't need, you're not doing a full-on crazy, like, fancy, big, dramatic glam eye. You're just doing a nice basic eye, but you want some sort of weight to your look with the lashes. I'm really enjoying this mascara. I mean, look, one coat and it does a lot of separation. It's just nice and more dramatic than natural, but not full glam, if that makes any sense at all. 2 coats. For lip, I picked up another one of the Milani Amore Shines. This is shade number 11. Charming. It is charming, wouldn't you say? And there you have it. That is my face. I am gonna go to work and kick off the rest of my day. I hope you guys enjoyed this little get ready with me and little update on my world. If you'd like to see more of these get ready with me style videos, give me a thumbs up down below. If you enjoyed this one, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You'll get notified when I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I thank you guys a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.